Hello, and welcome back to another Sparks by PRCA special episode, Trainer Spotlight, Insights from our PRCA Experts. In this series, we'll shine a light on the incredible expertise behind some of our wonderful trainers at the PRCA. Each episode is packed with insights and practical advice from the people behind the training sessions that we have and those who help shape the future of PR and communications. I'm Souha Khairallah, the Talent and Development Director at PRCA, your host for today, and this time around, we have another one of our great trainers, Nick Morris. Nick began his career in top PR agencies before spending 15 years in-house at Microsoft, Dropbox, Oracle, and fast-paced startups. Now he runs his own consultancy, helping hyper-growth companies build comms functions and strategies to drive awareness and engagement. He's led global teams through IPOs, funding rounds, major launches, M&A, and crisis. It's so wonderful to have him with us today, and he's going to be sharing his journey and tips with us. Welcome, Nick. So good to have you here.
Thanks, Suha. So nice to be here, and thank you for lovely introduction.
Thank you, thank you. So, Nick, let's by talking about your journey. Can you tell us about what inspired you to become a trainer at PRCA and how your experiences led you here?
Yeah, so I was introduced by a very lovely friend of mine when I set up my own consultancy, and she thought that it might be of interest to me and that I might do a half decent job. And actually, I had real reservations at the start because what do I know about leadership and what can I claim to teach others about leadership? And interestingly, imposter syndrome is the first topic we cover in my course.
Yeah,
And I think that's really healthy. I think it's good to have a bit of imposter syndrome. I think it's good. The opposite is overconfidence or arrogance, and just keeping us grounded and checked on who we are and what we do and what we can offer others, I think is a really healthy approach. I've worked
absolutely.
with um, lots of different leaders, some really amazing, inspirational people, and honestly, some truly awful ones as well. And maybe this was an opportunity to not get my own back, but have some element of control that said, you know, what I thought was good and what inspired me, and also what turned me off and what depressed me or made me leave jobs as well. So it was a really exciting thing to do. There's no list of 10 things you need to do to become a great leader. We just create an environment to, you know, inspire people, make people think about their own leadership style and the challenges they face, and hopefully people leave the session feeling a little bit more in control and heading in the right direction.
That's great. And I love that. You've got so much experience, and bringing experience to the course is so important with a course like that. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. So speaking of your career, what's the most memorable project or campaign that you've worked on, and why does it continue to resonate with you?
Um, so I think it was an extended campaign, and actually probably really extended because it went over two different jobs. I've produced three books.
Oh, wow.
I didn't write them. I edited them. I produced them. They came out of communications campaigns and budgets, and they were about the future of work and collaboration. The first one was back in 2013, and the last one was around probably 2017, 18.
Okay.
And they're on my bookshelf. I know they're on other people's bookshelves as well, which makes me incredibly proud. They were physical books that we got printed, and that was really important because
Wow, so nice.
lots of people create content and post it
Yeah.
online. But I can't overestimate or overstate the value of giving something like a physical copy of a book to someone when you're like engaging with them and as part of a campaign.
Hmm.
And what's really interesting is that often people used to kind of hold them and then smell them because that's a really visceral reaction. Uh,
Wow.
you know, you can't do that with a download or
That's
with
so true.
a web link. We won awards, which was very nice. Um, but it's the thing that I've been most proud of, and it was actually where you can imagine that production of a book is not a single person job. So it was really collaborative. I worked with lots of people, both at Microsoft and at Dropbox, which is where I produce them.
Yeah.
And they live on forever. You can still get them on Amazon.
Okay,
And
great. No.
we even put a price on the back of the books because that made them more valuable. They weren't branded. They were proper thought leadership. They were real kind of, we didn't want to talk about products or services. We wanted to talk about the world that we lived in. And yeah, it was just really good fun, really inspirational to be a part of it, and something I'm really proud of.
I love that. So different too. Like it's just something so
Yeah.
special, so personal
And
also.
and old school, the
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
printing books,
yeah.
that people have been printing books for centuries. And, in today's world as well, where it's got to be the next, like going back and doing something that was really old school was really good as well.
Oh, so nice. I love that. So, so cool. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So finally, for our listeners who might be considering attending your session, could you highlight three key takeaways they'll be able to apply immediately after completing your training? I know there's loads, but the
Well,
top three.
it differs every session. To be
Okay.
honest. So what I do at the end of the session is with the group of attendees is that we go through and we review what we've talked about, and we agree, and no one has to stick to this, but the things that people can do immediately, the things that people will do over the next week or weeks, and then the things that will take longer and they might want to do within the next 3 to 6 months. There's
Um,
10 different themes that I cover, and in each session it's always evolving because I learn a huge amount. And I think I become a better leader by learning from the other attendees as well. Topics that people often flock to straight away are things like giving feedback,
yeah.
because it's something that people struggle so much with. Either they are too nice, too subtle, too compassionate, and the message doesn't get through, or they're too brutal and people get defensive. So how do you get that balance right? So there's lots of stuff that we cover with that. We talk about building resilience and the importance of optimism. We talk about, which is topical at the moment, the importance of diversity of thought
Yeah.
in,
So important.
oh yeah. And I guess, it's a reminder that you don't teach people to be a good leader, but they evolve into it and they learn by being in the right environment to do that.
Yeah.
So it's giving people the kind of the framework to think about that ongoing learning journey that they'll have, rather than, those, as I said, those 10 things that you can just go away and do and then tick box exercise.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's one of the most important sessions because there's such a leap between managing and leading, and no one really teaches you or brings you those skills. So you suddenly are thrown into leadership and you've got to like sort it all out, manage it all. And there's so many things that you're dealing with. So having that kind of like that session, I think is quite therapeutic for people. Also being in the room with other people or and delegates that are going through the same thing and same issues. I think it really is so important.
And there's the permission to lead as well,
Yeah.
that people don't need to necessarily be given, they can take. So you don't have to be the most senior person in the room to lead. You don't have to have the title or be the manager of the group. Actually, you can lead from within, a flat structure, or if you're in a slightly lower position, you can still be a leader. And actually, that's where people really learn kind of the good skills that they might take into more senior positions as well.
Yeah, I love that too. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick, for giving us such a glimpse into your incredible career and sharing such practical advice. It's been a real privilege to hear from you today. And to our listeners, if you're feeling inspired and want to sharpen your skills, check out the full range of PRCA training courses on our website. You can find a link on the podcast notes. You'll find Nick's course and many others designed to take your career to the next level. And you can also bring his session in-house with the whole team. That's all for today's episode. Join us next time for another session of insights and expertise. Goodbye for now.